Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. We are back with the Sesh. Rob.
Hey, everybody. We're here with Miss Raquel Ponce.
Yes, Raquel.
Hello.
So I've been wanting to get you on for a while. I've followed all your stuff on social media, and I'm super interested because the space I love is the internet. And my main goal in life is to extract as much money as possible from the internet. So I'm going to jump into a bunch of those questions first, but please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
Okay, I'm Raquel Ponce, and I'm the founder and CEO of Miami Fitwear.
Nice.
So
And-
I design and manufacture activewear.
Right out of the Rio Grande Valley.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All out of Far, Texas.
But wait a minute. It didn't start there, though. Weren't you saying it started in Miami?
I started in Miami, Florida, out of a suitcase.
Out of
It
a
was
suitcase.
hobby.
Huh.
Yeah, never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought that it would be what it is today. Like, ever. If you would have told me this years ago, I would have laughed. Like, I would have thought you were crazy.
When you say fitwear, athletic wear?
Athletic
is it
wear.
like workout stuff? And you make it yourself?
Yes. So I make it, I design it.
Wow.
I make it in-house. Everything is done in Far, Texas. So it's more like athleisure wear because we do all kinds of different things. Like we do tennis skirts, tennis dresses, fashionable like items or
So not
made
necessarily just for working out.
And
No.
for all sizes.
for all sizes.
That's awesome.
All the way from
So you have
kids.
something that'll fit me
Yes, I do.
in a tennis skirt.
Actually make men's.
Oh, there you go.
Men's tennis
leggings,
skirts?
men's tights and men's shorts too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. We need to sport those at the gym, dude.
I'm also
So,
making rash guards for men as well.
What
That's a
guard?
great idea.
Yeah, I do.
I went walking the other day and I had a big rash between my legs. It sucked.
Wait
The
a minute,
more you
listen
work
to me.
out,
What's a rash guard?
So it's like this, but for men. So it's like wicking proof. So that way, if you sweat a lot, it holds the. It's not like you're gonna be like drenched in like a cotton shirt. It's not gonna be heavy. So when you're working out in a cotton shirt, it becomes like heavy. And you're like, oh, I want to take this off.
drenched in sweat.
Sometimes men do not want to take off their shirt in the gym.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those.
So you can wear a rash guard. You can wear it short sleeve or long sleeve.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
have many. I actually do custom work too. So sometimes I'll have men email us and they'll be like, "Well, I don't like wearing T-shirts. Can you make me this?" And we always try to make everything happen for.
Interesting.
So
So
everything
custom.
you make isn't just slip on. It's like there's buttons involved too, or
No
just
buttons
no
right
buttons.
now.
Okay.
But eventually, I'm going to be working on fashion later. So I'm kind of dipping my toes in fashion.
So I'm sorry to keep.
No, go for it, go for it.
I'm super intrigued here.
Yeah.
You order the fabric. You have seamstress and
Yes.
things of that nature.
I have a cutting machine, laser cutter that cuts
Nice.
precisely like each size. Yeah, so it's pretty intense. Like a lot of people say when they come to our warehouse that it's like an experience because it really is an experience. Like there's art everywhere. There's
We need to check it out.
machinery.
We should have done
it's-
this podcast there.
That would have been a good idea.
Done a mobile
Yeah, I
podcast.
mean-
That'd
I'm
been
super interested in your entrepreneurial journey because I feel like you were talking about earlier off camera, like it took you 2 years and you were about to sell your business and you were going through all these trials and tribulations with your family and in the business. Why did you keep going?
Well, this is like I love what I do, right? I really truly love what I do, and I was like, when you do what you truly love, it's not like a job. It's like you just do it, and it was just like in business, everything is a roller coaster, right? You go up
Yeah.
and down, and when you're down, you're like, well, what's next? What do I do? How do I
this
how do I go back up? So I was like, well, my husband was like, Raquel, this is a hobby. It's not really a business. Let's see how, maybe somebody would like to buy it. And I was like, all right, there goes my dreams. And I guess I'll just be a housewife and I'll figure out my next thing to do. And as he was in negotiations with trying to sell it, I decided that I was going to get a Peloton because I was pregnant and at the time, and I was like, all right, I need to somewhat get fit while I'm pregnant. So I posted on their official page, and their official page at the time had like over 200,000 people. And I was like, hey guys, I own this company. Here's 50% off the entire website. And to be credible, I had just finished working with Britney Spears' backup dancers for their Asia tour.
Oh, nice.
So I did all the dancing, everything they practice in the tour. I made their outfits.
Okay.
So
How did you get that?
Those are the little
I know,
ins
it's
right
crazy,
there.
right? It was an email through Facebook.
Did you send or they sent?
They sent it to me.
So
And I was like,
somebody
I
saw you.
thought it was full of crap. I was like, this is yeah, right. So I had to do my research and I really stalked the people and like really looked in it. And I was like, okay, this is like legit. Like these people like are really her backup dancers, and they were backup dancing for her in Las Vegas. So she took all the backup dancers from Las Vegas on her Asia tour. So they were like, hey, can you make us some, leggings, some activewear, bras? I made the men some tights, and that's how and so that's kind of like what I posted on the page, so people can think I'm credible.
Yeah.
And then within like 2 hours, I had already sold $7,000.
Nice.
I was like, my husband was like, what did you do? Like, what did you do? I was like, well, I went on this page and I said that, that it was over and here's 50% off the website. Like, I need to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't think we should sell. And I was like, okay. So that's when we decided that we weren't going to sell. And
Wow. How long ago was that?
that was 2017. Yeah, 2017, December 2017. I remember because I was like, it was during the holidays and I was just kind of sitting there like, I'm pregnant. What am I going to do? So we decided not to. And then, ever since then, I've just been hustling and grinding and trying to work with as many people as possible.
So were you like a seamstress by
Never.
trade?
Never.
She just figured it out.
I figured it out. So my husband's family is in textiles, but they do seamless wear, and this is cut and sew. So completely different animal than seamless wear. So we really literally had to figure out how to make everything, patterns, and how does this work, and testing, and it's a lot of R&D, a lot.
What I don't think people understand is that, like, when you pick a specific niche industry, like, you should learn everything that has to do with that same industry. That way you can put them all together and you stand the best chances to be able to get your product out in front of as many people as possible. Because I'm sure you had to learn advertising.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've had to
all
learn
that stuff
everything
falls in together that you get to use it to be able to push your business forward. I think that's one of the most interesting things. Like, the internet can teach you anything now. YouTube, you jump on there, you can learn how to sew. It's like, it's crazy. It's an amazing tool.
The second largest search engine after Google, Google owns YouTube. So,
one of the most interesting things right now is in Instagram Reels. The shorts on YouTube Shorts work really well, and like, people don't use that yet. It's one of the biggest things out there. Like, I put all my stuff now on YouTube Shorts versus Reels because it performs way better. And these people, I don't even know who they are. Like, these are people from around the United States now liking my stuff. And the cool thing about YouTube is they don't care. They don't give a shit. They'll give you thumbs down and talk shit. Like, it's a different audience on there. They don't care.
Wow.
But it's cool. I mean,
all that stuff, man. I just started learning all that since I partnered up with Josh, but I see very similar stories in terms of success for people who start these type of ventures. Look at Mike Molly and his mom, they did the same thing. He had
Rachel.
Rachel, yeah, she had. Well, her son had somebody influential say, hey, send me some of your T-shirts for a rap video or something. And he blew up, and now he's this.
It's serial killer merch.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing in the world. Like, there's niche markets for everybody.
It's called the Psych Ward. And he designs T-shirts with the faces of, historic serial killers. And there are people, like Jeffrey Dahmer, and like just like all of these major stories that we all kind of know little tidbits about. He does his diligence and he goes and he figures out the story, and then he creates shirts, and now he's doing like 6 figures a month and stuff. And he's a 20-some-year-old.
21, I think.
20-year-old. I used to refer to people that age as children, but this guy's a 21-year-old man. He's doing good things in his life, and I am beginning to notice that through the power of connection and through the internet and stuff like that, people are just blowing up. Their ventures are being brought to the masses.
Oh yeah, like
Or you would open it for your community.
Like think about Rachel. She went and did a TikTok video that went viral, and she sold $30,000 of merchandise in a weekend.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling. Like people are doing it all the time. I want to be that motherfucker.
So why Fitwear?
Okay, so it's a long story. I've always struggled with my weight. Always.
Me too.
Always. So at the time, I was on this healing kind of journey in Miami, and I got to Miami at 200 pounds. And I was like, everybody is fit here.
Yeah,
like,
it's the worst place to have.
Like-
Or the best.
I don't know, man.
Like everybody's like, I would go to the grocery store and people would be like in a bikini, or like people are running without shirts, and you're like, okay, I need to do something. So I walked into a hot yoga class, and at the time, like the only thing that would fit me is solid black leggings from Nike. And when I got there, I saw all these beautiful women wearing these leggings, and I was like, okay, I already feel weird being in this class, and then all of you guys are beautiful with these really cool like active wear, and I want to be that way too. So how do I get there? So I had to lose a lot of weight in order to buy a pair. And then when I bought the pair, it tore on me the first day.
Wow.
It slid down when you did child's pose or like downward facing dog, and I was like, and they kept sliding down, so like my belly would hang over. And I was like, how in the world can I make a better pant? And I can, no matter what journey I'm on, if I'm 200 pounds or 120 pounds or whatever, why can't we wear the same thing? Why do I have to like lose all this weight to wear this? So I was like, why can't we just make something where it's available for all sizes? Mm-hmm. So that's basically what I did. And
out of necessity for yourself.
Yeah, it was really
invention.
for myself.
Yeah.
And then I found other people were in the same boat as me. And because when you're overweight, you already feel excluded. And especially going to clothing stores, like you have to shop in the accessories section. Like you can't go to like the section to buy clothes unless it's specifically for plus size. Mm-hmm. So if you walk in, you have to look at the purses, the shoes, the keychains, the earrings, the jewelry. And then you're like, all right, well, it's time for me to go now. So there's never really anything for you.
Right.
Anything like to express yourself as a person.
So shoes and accessories, that's
it for plus
women,
size,
yeah.
Really. Unless it's plus size specific, like, you're looking at Torrid or Lane Bryant or, something specific. So I wanted something where people could feel like themselves mm-hmm. and be themselves no matter what size they were, no matter what journey, because we're all on different journeys. I mean, I may not work out, and let's say I'm a mom and I want to wear athleisure wear because I want to feel comfortable and cute.
Yeah.
Why not? So I just felt like we needed to expand. And I was basically one of the first companies that really did that. Even though I'm a small company, I was one of the first companies that really expanded up to 4X.
Wow.
And that's one of the reasons why I worked with Peloton for so long, because Peloton couldn't find a company that was catering to their plus size members.
Interesting.
Because all they would go up to is extra large. So they were like, we need to find something where people can wear something that says Peloton and be like a 2X, 3X, 4X, and feel like they're included in the community. So that's what I really wanted, is for people to feel included. Not excluded.
So did Peloton start ordering stuff from you?
Yeah, I worked with them for 2 years. And I was the first company that they hired or that they worked with that offered plus sizes.
My sister has a Peloton coat rack, and it's nice.
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, it's nice. It's multi-purpose.
Nice
coat
and
rack.
expensive.
You can dry your stuff on it. You can make the kids stand on it and just kind of, you're in timeout, sit by the Peloton. She doesn't use it. I tell her all the time, let me buy it from you. And she's like, you're not going to use it either. And I was like, oh, all right, touche.
But you're absolutely right about going into clothing stores, especially for men. Like for me, one of my goals, and I don't know if I had ever told you this, was to stop shopping at Academy because I would always wear those fishing shirts because they hide so much stuff for men. So I was like, you know what? When I got to the point where we started working out a lot, I made it a point to throw well, I didn't throw it away. I gave my entire closet to some of my best friends. Like I gave it all away, and I had like 3 shirts in there, and I had to start rebuilding that because I know if I have it there, I'll go back to it, and it's like, oh, it's easy. I'll just go back and I have the stuff. But if you literally just close your mind and get rid of all that clutter, like you start new. And I think that's what people need to do is they take those drastic steps. Mm-hmm. So for you, like was it going through that journey?
Well, like going through the journey, how so?
Of the weight loss plus also taking on entrepreneurship, your business, and having kids and being married, family. I can only assume that your time is very valuable.
It is very valuable.
So sharing it with everybody, there's going to be people that are going to try to pull you one way. How do you focus on what you have to do, even though you still have a job, you still have a family? How do you do that?
So I like to think of it as healthy boundaries. You know, I used to say yes all the time, and I would overwhelm myself and spread myself way too thin. And now that I'm taking care of myself, like working out and stuff, it's one thing to take care of yourself physically, like, okay, I'm losing the weight, but also like mentally and emotionally. So I decided, okay, telling people, okay, you know what, like I want to do this, but maybe we can do this time, or at this time when I have the time to do it. Because I get pulled in so many directions that, you know, the number one priority is my family. Like my kids, my husband and my kids are number one. And sometimes it's hard to say no. But you have to, because you have to take care of the things that are most important. Because at the end of the day, even though, like, yes, the business pays the bills, but, you know, I need to take care of me and my family. And so that's first, and then it's the business. And I think that, you know, you got to take care of yourself first, and then you take care of your husband and your kids, and then the business. And so if it's the business is fourth, that on the list, it's like, okay, I can do these things, but this I have to say no to. And maybe I'll lose out on some things, and I'll have FOMO on some things. But I know that I'm okay over here, because that's what's most important.
Yeah.
You know, and it's taking me a lot of therapy to realize those things.
I need to start going to therapy because people are learning stuff like that, and I don't.
You know, sometimes you put your business as priority, and that's number one, but you don't put yourself, your family, or your kids or whatever first. And it's really like it's been a hard pill to swallow that it has to be you first, then your spouse, then your kids, and then whatever you're working on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of.
How long have you been married?
Been married 7 years, going on 8.
And your children are young, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have 6-year-old twins, and then I have a 4-year-old little girl. So yes, it's a
full
lot.
House. Full house.
It's a lot. So I wake up usually like around 4:35, and that's when my day starts. Yeah, I get things ready, and you know, I have things organized, and it's
ready to go. I think one of the things that people don't understand is you need to be selfish to a certain extent to be able to be selfless in the future. Like the thing is that we're working on ourselves all the time to become better people, and people don't see it like the way we see it. It's just like they're looking out, and so they get to judge you, and they see that you're talking about all these things for yourself. But it's the only way you can give back selflessly. Like it's mind-boggling to me that people don't get that yet. But I think everybody's on their journey, and people will understand it at a certain time. I wanted to talk about Miami Fitwear specifically, but like the advertising and the marketing aspect of it. That's one of the things I love. I can talk about marketing and advertising all day. What are you doing as far as marketing and advertising?
Well, okay, so a couple things. Well, we do reels and we do stories, but we plan in advance. So usually we plan like months in advance for events. Like when I say events, I'm like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holidays, New Year. I'm already planning my photo shoot that I'm doing for the new year when people are going to go back to wanting to be fit
workout,
again.
yeah.
Yes, like, putting in like a home gym in my warehouse, like getting like an actual gym to like do those types of things. I start visualizing like what it's going to look like, who I'm going to work with. And then I have Yesenia that helps me, like with branding and like coming with whatever trending. I also have a marketing agency that I work with. I've worked with them for almost a year now. They help me like with sale, like pushing out like what we're gonna do for sales or those types of things. Right now, I don't do ads at all. I used to, but I don't. I'm trying to do things more organic because, as you know, things are tough, and we're going to be going through a really hard recession pretty soon.
For the next year. Rob and I have been chatting about that.
I have two friends that have small businesses, and both my friends, one out of Austin, one out of LA, have really gotten themselves like in a really deep hole with ads. Like I'm talking like almost bankruptcy, and I'm talking like almost like 75 grand in the hole.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Like we're okay as long as we sell and we're doing what we're supposed to. Hopefully they give us, we get the traction that we need and people share. And, email marketing is our thing too. We do
Talk
a lot
about email marketing because you do that quite a bit, right?
Actually, email marketing works more for me than Instagram and Facebook.
Why is that?
Because it's our customers, like it's people that have subscribed to our email list.
Because I have like 3,000 members at my club, and I have all their email addresses.
But you're not sending emails.
Not once have I even attempted to email any of them.
Yeah.
Is that?
It depends because what's your open rate? Like if you have like 10,000.
I have 10,000, 11,000.
So you got 10% of those opening up. You're getting 1,000 people come and buy your product. So it's just something that you have to do. You have to test it out.
Yeah, you have to. You don't want to bombard them, but you also just you want people like kind of like, hey, well, like this is what I'm doing, or this, That's worked for me. That actually works more for me than it does for Instagram.
I'm going to try it because I do have all
absolutely.
that. And we just we have their numbers, so we text them directly, but then we get a lot of like, stop texting.
Yeah,
which you will. That's the perfect thing because they self-filter themselves out. So it's like,
I actually stopped using SNS.
Okay.
I stopped because I was paying so much for it and I was getting a lot of unsubscribers.
Yeah, well, that's exactly where I'm at.
I was like,
we're paying like $400 a month, and then it's like you send out one mass text, and then a large percent will just respond,
unsubscribe,
unsubscribe me, and then you're like, well, shit, I just lost that person. It feels weird, but wow, no, I'm blown away by this, and a lot of people from here in the Valley that have visited our podcast are in the fashion world and are doing niche things for specific demographic and people, and thus far the people who have shared that with us have been pretty successful in their ventures, and I'm thinking I'm in the wrong business.
There's a lot of ways to make money. That's one of them. I'm interested in your fitness journey. Let's talk about that because you are about to hit 100 pounds of weight loss.
Yes.
Touch on that. That's wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I got to 272 pounds, but it was like through pregnancies, like a twin pregnancy, and then I was like my little girl, and then you had the pandemic. And when we were in the pandemic, I gained like another 20 pounds because I was basically like, when the pandemic happened, more than half of my staff quit because they were scared to come to work, or they were like, we're not coming to work. No. So either working from home or, so I was doing a lot of the shipping, packaging, marketing. I mean, I was doing everything. So it was a lot. So it was like my life just revolved around the business, and I didn't take care of myself. I was like, eating whatever, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it just got to the point where I couldn't even get off the floor to change a diaper. Like I was like, okay, I need to change a diaper. And I couldn't get up from the floor. Like it was like really hard. Or like bathing my kids, like getting up from the kneeling to getting up. It was just like I was always exhausted. So I just said, I can't live like this anymore. And I don't know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to get out of this hole that I'm in. And everybody kept telling me like, oh, you can do it this way and you should do it that way. And I randomly met this woman online. We didn't know each other. She messaged me and she was like, hey, I really love your story. She's like, I just had weight loss surgery and this is the doctor that I had it with. And I was like, tell me more. And so she started telling me about it. And I had, I was like, all right, like I'm going to look more into this. So I did a ton of research on the doctor and everything. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do this. So I went and I did all the thing to get it done. And I had weight loss surgery in August 5th of 2021.
Wow.
And July 23rd was my daughter's birthday. That was the day that I decided to change my life completely. I was like, that's it. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to start losing weight. I'm going to start taking care of myself. And 2 weeks before I had the surgery, I lost like 15 pounds.
Wow.
Got the surgery. And then I've just been like really just on it.
Diligent.
Yeah. But, weight loss surgery is a tool.
Right.
So it's not, your stomach is a muscle. So if you don't take care of yourself, it expands and you can gain it back. And I had the sleeve, so they cut it out like 80% of your stomach. So you can gain it back. And statistics say that within 5 years, if you don't take care of yourself, you will gain it back. Huh. So really, it's a behavioral, mental issue is what is the root as to why you're eating or what's making you want to eat? What is it like? Is it anxiety, depression, or what is it, the urge to want to eat, right? So I was like, I really have learned a lot about myself through this journey. And, 7 months, and I started working out, and then I was like, all right, I was still eating cookie, because it's a tool, right? I was like, oh, I can't have a lot, because, my stomach won't allow it. So I'll just have a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit adds up. And then I started working with a nutrition coach, and she was like, you need to think about why you're eating. Like, why are you emotionally eating? Is it stress? Why anxiety? Like, what are the triggers that are making you want to eat chips or wanting the cake, the pizza, even the topping of the pizza? Like, just those things. And so I've really learned a lot about myself because it's an addiction. Yeah. And how do I work on this addiction that I have? Because we all have it in some way.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. Emotional eating is a real thing.
It is a real thing. And the thing is that you need food. Like, you need it.
So you might as well get the good stuff.
Is that a lot of people, if you think about it, we are weaned and groomed to live to eat. Because I say that because we're always like, well, what are you doing for lunch? What are you going to have for breakfast? Hey, babe, what are we going to eat for dinner? Like, everybody is always looking forward to that social event, that comfort event where you get to pick and choose and decide what you're going to eat. So we live to eat. And in truth, we should be eating simply to live.
And that's what my nutrition coach, she says, you need food for fuel.
That's right. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand what that meant. And I was like, okay. So I still am working on it. I mean, it's still, I still like when something stresses me out or makes me sad, I'm like, okay, I want chips or I want this. But it's like, okay, I need to step back, drink water first, or, drink your Crystal Light with water, I figure it out.
The same way, man.
Before you start eating.
I do that constantly. And I think that's why, because we've been on the same fitness journey. Like, we're going to the same workouts a day. But Mr. Committed over here he doesn't give up. Like, he doesn't crack. I can come in here with a pizza
and I won't eat it.
And he won't eat
but
it.
the
Yeah,
one thing
same.
the one thing that helped me with my relationship with food was alternate day fasting. When I started using the tool of alternate day fasting, like the first day I started it, I went on a 2-day fast. So I didn't have anything, and then after that, I just started doing fasting for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays religiously for 24 hours, and it worked with me. Like, it was a perfect thing because now I didn't have that food in front of me, and it changed my mind about how food is a tool, and it's just used specifically to get you through your day. You only need a certain amount of food. You don't need pizza. You don't need burgers. But I get to enjoy them now because now I'm at a certain point where I'm burning all that stuff off, but I'm using it still as a tool, and I can't wait to get back to alternate day fasting because I'll feel lighter. I'll feel better. I feel clearer. I feel sluggish right now, but it's a tool. They're all tools that you get to use that you can put in your toolbox and fight your weight loss. It's a very interesting thing.
So we've been working out 3 times a week for an hour with Mike Garcia at BDA, who has literally changed my life. Like, I mean, I haven't had the results that he has, that Josh has, but in weight loss, but in terms of muscle gains and
Strength.
just feeling more potent as an individual, more capable. You were saying earlier, I couldn't even get off of the floor.
Yeah.
That shit was me. Like, I'd make so many grunts and noises to get out of my car or to get in, like and all this stuff. And now, even things as simple as standing up from the toilet is just like, it's easy. And before, it's like, okay, I gotta figure out how. Like, I was just too heavy.
Yeah.
And so now I see that working out is a son of a bitch. I hate it, but I know I need it, and I know I love it. And it's like taking a medicine for an hour. I do it, and at the end, when I'm leaving and I'm drenched and I'm soaked, I feel so accomplished. And there was no money involved. There was no
Pain. That's all it was.
It was just
pain.
all focus. Like, you have to focus and you have to push through the pain to get it. And now I feel those results. And it's funny that you said earlier that, like, in Miami Beach, people are running without shirts. That was my goal.
Yeah.
When we met, we had a podcast with Mike, and he said, all right, well, what are your goals, Robert? If I'm going to start training you, I need to know what your goals are. And I said, dude, my goals are to be able to go on a jog, and when my cotton shirt gets all heavy, I want to take it off. And you know, not slap my face and, you know, slap myself with my gut, you know, like, I want to be able to jog and feel confident in my own skin. And he said, I can get you there. And it's been 6 months, and I'm going to say that I'm about 4 months away from getting there to where I can feel comfortable jogging without my shirt at the beach or by the pool or wherever.
The only thing that sucks about working out is that it takes so long to get the results. No wonder people fall off.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. Like,
sucks.
going 3 times a week, and then when you get to a certain point, you got to add more exercise so you can get better results. But it does not stop, because then you got to keep lifting heavier weight and heavier weight and heavier weight. It's all progressive overload.
I was so demoralized.
Well, it's all about changing your diet.
Yeah.
So as I'm working with a nutrition coach, like, let's say I plateau a little, then she changes my diet. Like, let's say, like, 2 weeks ago I had cashews. I get to eat 20 cashews. Now I can't have any cashews. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have peanut butter in my yogurt at night before, like, my meal 5, and I don't have peanut butter anymore. So it's all tweaking your diet.
Yeah.
It's not about, you can still, like, lift heavy, but it's all really about the diet, because
The
it's
intake,
80% nutrition,
not the output.
20%. And what I've also learned is, because I was killing myself, cardio, burpees, I mean, you name it. I was like running, and I was like, and then my nutrition coach was like, you need to be strength training, because you have fat loss and you gain muscle, so you burn fat longer. And I didn't really understand, because I'm not in that world,
Right.
but now I'm getting it. I'm like, wait, I don't have to work harder, work smarter.
Yeah. I tell Rob all the time that a lifter's body is completely different than somebody
cardio
that's running cardio. It's just clothes fit better, you look better, you feel better. Muscle is the number one thing for health. Like, if you have muscle, you're healthy. Like, there's no denying
But
it.
I don't feel healthy.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Shoot.
Because I'm about to lose 100 pounds, and I know you guys have lost weight. What do you feel like you've gained emotionally? Like, do you feel like you've lost, like, anything emotionally, or like any baggage that you were hanging on to that you no longer have?
You want to go first?
Emotionally, I don't think that my state of mind has changed, nor do I believe that my stress level has gone down any while I'm not working out. I think that I've gained emotionally through workout is confidence, and that's it. I don't think I've gained, a sense of humor or a better outlook on life or the future.
Or more positive.
Not even, man. There's so much negative bullshit in my life on a daily basis, whether it's work or financials or just confusion. But I do feel more capable. I do feel more, manly. I don't know.
I think capable is the right
I
word.
feel more capable. Like, I feel like if I get a flat, I'm not going to be panicking over the huffing and puffing while I change it. I'm not going to be, I told you the other day, I used to hate going to the mall. I don't remember the last time I went, but I used to hate going to the mall back in the day because I realized that, or in my mind, the mall was super hot. Like, do they not like turn on the AC in this bitch? Or what the hell? I'm walking and I'm sweating. And the other day I went to the mall and I didn't sweat at all. And then I was looking, I was like, I know what is going on. Back in the day when I would come, I'd suck in my gut and I'd be walking around sucking in my gut and trying to kind of look a little bit fitter and better. And so I'm walking around flexing and it would just make me sweat because I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin. I had to do something and kind of induce a flatter stomach, and that takes clenching and that would make me sweat. And now I can breathe and I don't feel like my body is like protruding out from under my shirt so I think I've gained a lot of confidence in my own stature. I kind of feel my posture better, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually, I kind of feel that while I'm working out is the only time that I can silence my mind and only focus on the task. Whether my kids are grown already, so I don't really worry about them too much. But at the gym, under instruction, is the only time that I can shut everything out. And I just got to get through these reps, and that's all that matters right now. Whether or not that translates outside of the gym, I don't know. But during, it is such a peaceful feeling to know that I'm in here doing something that's going to better my future.
It's going to benefit you.
And it's going to benefit me, So I think that's how it's changed my life, that I have a sanctuary, a retreat to go to shut everything out and just work on me. As soon as the wet, sweaty clothes comes off and I'm back into, the grind, so to speak, the old Rob's back and stress levels are back up and I want a burger and all that stuff. But I can disconnect from that at the gym and work on who I want to be.
It's an interesting thing. Like I didn't learn that going to the gym is good for your mental health. Like now that we go, the one thing that it has taught me is discipline. Because you're going 3 days a week and you're there for an hour. You're only there for 1 hour. That's like the small amount of time. But it's the most painful hour of your life, but you get to do it weekly. And the course of doing it consistently brings the results. So seeing that, I think, is the most eye-opening thing because it's tangible. Like, these muscles are not fake. I worked for them. Like, it's taken a very long, painful time. I have stuffed food into my face to grow these things. Like, I have 2 plates of food that I eat for every single meal. Like, it's tedious. It's psychologically hard.
It is.
But if you see the results and you see them coming in consistently, like, that is like, it's proof. Like,
you feel the results.
There's no denying that it works. You just have to stay consistent. And that's why I feel like so many people fall off, is it takes forever.
It's demoralizing. I went to, after like our 3rd month, I walked into the gym on a Wednesday and I looked at Mike and I was like, bro, I'm still sore, man. I'm sore every fucking day. And he says, that never stops. That never goes away, man. Like, if you ain't sore, you're not working out. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Workouts are never going to get easier? He was like, I said, I'm never going to like just not be sore as a result from working out, no matter how fit I become. And he's like, nope, I'm sore now. And Mike is what I aspire to look like. That we're the same height, we're the same age. Some bitch is just ripped and like looks good and shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, so you're sore all the time too? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, kidding? Like, this never gets easier.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people quit. That's where people just fall off the wagon. They're like, well, shit, man. Like, I literally thought eventually I'm going to get to the point to where I have the physique I want, and now there's no pain involved.
Oh, yeah, no.
And he says, no, dude, get that shit out of your head. You need to not eat crap, and you need to be sore every day.
The thing that helped me change that mindset was I started seeing people on social media. It's going to go a little gruesome, but people are dying like everywhere. Everything out there is trying to kill us. Something out there is trying to kill us. It doesn't matter what it is. So going to the gym and fighting past that, fighting for your health, gives you that better chance, that little chance. I mean, if I die in a car crash, I'd rather die fit. I mean, I'm not going to lie, but I mean, you have that little chance that you can go through your health and you can carry this with you for the rest of your life. So why not try it? Like, why not jump on that wagon and see? Because the benefits are only good. Like, there's no negative consequences to this. None.
Do you
whatsoever.
have a workout pal or a buddy or somebody that you go and work out with all the time?
No, I have like a training, like I have everything like planned out, like what I do, what I'm going to do it. Like Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I strength train. And then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, I do like a HIIT workout, like treadmill, rower, and then TRX or weights. So that's what I do.
So you're working out
6 days a week.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
so after I strength train, I have to do 40 minutes of cardio. So that's why I usually work out at 5, because by the time I'm done with my cardio, it's time to get the kids ready for school. Mm-hmm. And the food and everything.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Early to work out.
At 4. I wake up at 4 because I have to eat my meal before I have to eat my pre-workout meal before I go train. Because you have to eat a meal before you go strength train because you need to feed your muscles. So I was like, there's no way I can eat at that time. And are you crazy? But I have to eat because my nutrition coach, who's also a bodybuilder, she told me, she was like, if you want to gain muscle, she's like, you need to have fuel. She's like, you need to go hard.
And we go to work out while fasting.
Well, the difference was that we if you're fasted and you're trying to lose weights, you're only in the gym to preserve your muscles. Like, you won't grow. You'll probably grow a little, but you're preserving your muscles. When you start the caloric surplus, that's when you'll start getting some muscle
gaining mass.
Gaining mass.
Yeah, because like yesterday we went and worked out, and it was a tough workout, and I was on my 16th hour of fasting during the workout.
Yeah, no, you have to eat. I mean, that's what my bodybuilder. She's a physique pro, so she's like trying to get to the Arnold. But
Wow.
I'm like. I love her because she's taught me so much. But like when I'm going to do my fasted cardios, I drink Amazing Greens and I have 2 scoops of glutamine to help me with recovery. Mm-hmm. And then so I do that every morning. And then Tuesday, Thursdays, I do just fasted. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I do strength train, I eat before I go train. And even if I'm running late, I take it in the car and I'm eating it on the way to the gym.
You don't feel like you have all that food in you while you're huffing and puffing?
I know
and
it's
pushing weight and
crazy,
stuff?
but I don't. I thought I would be like, oh, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to feel sick. Not at all. It's crazy.
You see, and me, when Josh got me on the fasting bandwagon months ago when we first started, I would be worried about that. Like, I'm gonna not have enough fuel in my body to do these workouts because they're rigorous and intense. But we'd go during fasting.
Well, the thing is, we both have a lot of body fat. So, like, we have energy. It's just it has to jump in there and jump out.
Trying to avoid calling myself,
Well, when it comes down to it, like, it's true. Like, we carry around a lot of body fat.
And while we're working out and fasting, I don't feel that I'm fatigued. Like,
Oh, that's good.
we pushed through the workout yesterday while fasting, and it was just a breeze. And there were times when I was like, there's no way my body's going to go through this. But the body in itself is an amazing, it's an amazing vessel. So, yeah, no, our journey started 6 months ago.
7 now.
7 now.
7.
And I don't think it ever stops now.
Yeah, I eventually want to do a competition, like a show.
We were talking about that too. Not a show, but
I want to do a show one day.
How people's mindset turns to that.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about doing a triathlon or start training.
It's because
something.
you're in the gym doing all that stuff, and you're like, well, what am I going to do with this newfound strength and all this stuff? Yeah, what's next? I think that's the one thing people need to get is like through their heads, like, what's next? You just can't stop. Like when I hit my goal of 200 pounds, like, what's next? Like, now we lose and we gain more muscle. Like it's always going to be something. You always have to have something to aspire to. Their goals. Like, I think that's the one thing that people don't get is like, make your goals. And I think for a lot of people, they think like, well, goals are stupid. Like, why would I even bother? But honestly, if you write that down, you put it out into the world. We talk about the 4 agreements all the time. Yeah. Like, be impeccable with your words. Like, these goals that you set for yourself will set you up for your future. Like, why would you not want to think about your future? 10 years is going to pass by like that. I am scared. That's the one thing that I talk about the most is I think about death every single day.
Talking about what our lives are going to look like in 4 or 5 years, and on the path that we were on, it wasn't a fun time to think about where we were going to be. It's like shit, we both. And
that's to say that we failed plenty of times during this year.
Yeah, a lot. So it's important to get a win in. Daily, weekly, and sometimes the only win we can get is a good workout, and I've heard people say like, shit, just wake up and make your bed, and that'll give you some
structure,
feeling of accomplishment. You knocked out a task. Well, I've been married for 24 years, been with my wife 29 years, and I've never had to make my bed. So I was like, well, that's one feat I'm never going to mess with because my wife does it. Getting small wins in on a daily basis is important, but getting big wins as like getting your ass kicked at a gym does amazing things for your state of mind as far as what can I accomplish, what can I do. And then if you're fortunate enough and diligent enough to last 6 months, a year in that practice, before you know it, your mindset is just a little bit different in terms of obstacles and goals. You feel like, well, shit, I can do this.
Yeah. Like simple goals, like just like, that you're going to go to sleep the night before. In the morning, you're going to be doing a lot of stuff. You got to take your kids to school. There are at least 10 things that you can do that night to help you get a better day throughout the next day. It's like at least 10. And I think people just don't think about that. Like, it's 10 simple things you get ready that night before that'll make your life so much easier.
Like a list?
No, just like okay, for example, my son needs some clothes for the morning. Have them ready. Like looking for that stuff in the morning where the shoes are like under the sofa, it's a headache because you're yelling at everybody. It's like, where are the shoes, man? Come on. It's like those little simple things, they set you up for success.
Oh my God.
It's true. Like I do exactly that. All the kids have all their clothes, all their snacks, their backpacks are lined up, all the drinks for the next day are in the fridge, ready to go. I mean, everything is ready. By the time I get home, it's done.
Being a mom is a full-time job. It's a bitch. It's underappreciated, underrated, but it's also the best paid. It comes with medical, dental.
And you get little smiles and laughs and hugs. Like, dads don't get that stuff.
You get to, like have inappropriate relationships with the boss man, which is the husband, and or in my case, the boss lady, which is my wife. So my wife would tell me all the time, she goes, this is the hardest job. And I said, yeah, but you get all the perks and all the benefits. You get to go on all the trips. You get to do all the stuff. Like working as a mother has its perks, but I couldn't relate to it because my wife handled everything. I changed one diaper for my son when he was a baby and one diaper for my daughter when she was a baby. Never touched the diaper.
Never touched the diaper.
Wow.
Never touched the bottle.
I would get poop in my fingers and vomit in my mouth all the damn time, man. It's nasty.
But again, I was a child myself. I was 21 years old, when I had my only son, my first child. And so back then, that wasn't something that I grew up with. Like in in my growing up world, a man didn't do certain things and had to perform in other places, and a woman did all of these things. And so that's what I
You grew up with.
That's what
I think that's the mentality of a lot of traditional type
I hear now, like you saying, like, I had to do this, and the juices were lined up, and the meals were prepped, and all this stuff, and I never saw that. Like, I knew it was getting done, but I never took the time to appreciate the prep work that it took to raise my kids. So shout out to
mental
you,
clarity.
Thank you for raising the kids. It was a task that I'm sure she excelled at, but I never noticed because it was done so well, I guess, you know.
So with I guess give me 3 best examples of like something that you would tell people that are trying to start their fitness journey, because you went gung ho. You wake up at 4 in the morning.
Business.
Well, first with fitness, because I think it's very hard mentally to wake up at 4.
It is.
Work out, and then like that's really hard. So what are some practical things that you can tell people, like, all right, look, if you're trying your journey for the first time, what would you tell them?
Consistency, discipline, and you have to be your own motivation. You can't depend on other people, but you have to be ready for it. You know, it's not. I mean, it took me years. Like
ready for it or
years.
tired of it?
Yeah.
Ready for the change or tired of the mundane? You know, like what
I think there's a lot of people that are tired, but they're not ready. You know, like my husband is really tired, but he's not ready. And he's like always complaining, like, I'm tired. But it's like, I tell you what to do, but you're not ready.
Well, the shitty part about that, though, is if you wait too long, something's going to happen and you're going to physically be unable to. And that's one of the things that scares me the most. Like, Carlos is 26, right? And he has youth. I know 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, but when your time comes for something to happen, like my buddy Frank had his gallbladder out the other day, 2 weeks ago, and he's younger than me. Like, that stuff scares me. I just got lucky during this fitness journey that it came into my life at the right time, and now I'm like preaching, like, yes, you got to go and be healthy, but it's true because
either you offer your health the time it needs and merits now, or later your health will demand it from you in another way. You know, either you put in the work now to be healthy, or later on your body's going to say, okay, well, you didn't want to do shit before. Well, now you got to lay in this bed, brother, because now I'm sick. And now you got to deal with your health in a negative way instead of...
Plus, you still get all the other stresses of life. If you're running a business, well, your body doesn't care.
I'm grateful, but I will say this. I tried for years to work out next to my wife at our house, got gym memberships. The shit never worked. It wasn't until I started working out with a buddy and being told what to do, did I start seeing results, because working out with somebody,
accountability.
Yeah, you know, it like, are you showing up today? Yes, I'm going. Yesterday, was it yesterday we worked out?
Yeah,
yesterday we worked out, and we're doing these incline presses, and Josh is like, are you going to go up to the 50s? And I'm looking, I was like, well, shit, no. And she's like, well, I'm going up to the 50s. I was like, well, now I have to go up to the 50s. You know, it's that competitiveness. So, and it's in a healthy environment, you know. So I think that I did not become or see results in a successful way at the gym until I had the right person telling me what and how to do things, and until I had somebody making sure that I was going to do them. Because the coaches and the instructors are going to tell you, this is what I need you to do. And if you tell them after your second rep, I can't do no more, they're going to say, well, okay. But when your buddy tells you, or your partner tells you, hey, no, I did them, you can do them, well, then shit, it's like, well, now I got to do them.
We talk a lot of shit at the gym to each other. Well, it's mostly me to him because he's strong.
But I'll quit. I'll be like, yeah, I did 2 reps. I know I can do a third, but I feel fatigued already. And he'll be like, well, I'm going to do all 3.
But it's about getting uncomfortable.
Yes, 1,000%.
Absolutely.
It's about, you can't you're not going to grow if you're comfortable.
If you're comfortable or stagnant. Yeah, you have to really be comfortable.
I didn't realize that.
And it sucks because it never goes away. No matter, like today, this is the first time I've put this shirt on in probably over a year. Now I'm wearing it, and something as simple as wearing something that you've had in your closet that fits now it translates into a good morning.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how many times I've put this on and looked in the mirror and said, I can't wear this. Why would you let me wear this, babe? I was out all day in this stupid shirt. Look at my gut. And she was like, well, you put it on, you know, and today it fit, and I didn't feel like it didn't fit. So all of that validates the last 7 months.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's not even the tip of the iceberg, because body dysmorphia is a real thing. Like even these 7 months that I've been going through this journey, lost 60 pounds, now I'm gaining muscle. I look at my body and I'm still not like, oh, I'm not comfortable. Like that stuff stays in your mind, even though you're getting told by everybody, it's like, wow, you look amazing. The internal thing, the dialogue that you have with your own brain, it stops you from seeing that stuff that everybody else sees. So it's like, oh man, I'm trying to gain weight, I'm gaining weights, and it's like, do I really want to gain weight? But I have these goals that I need to hit. So it's like you look at yourself in the mirror and you're looking at this guy like staring back at you. It's like, you're not happy with yourself. When are you going to be happy with yourself? Do you struggle with that?
Oh yeah, all the time.
To kind of talk about that, what you do to combat that.
Gosh, I mean, I've had twins, and I'm like, I feel like sometimes I'm like, I have loose skin, because I'm like, eventually I'm gonna have to do something about it. I'm gonna have to get like plastic surgery eventually, but I deal with it all the time. But I really try. I get to the point where I do see myself that way, but I also like to make myself feel uncomfortable too, because I'm like, okay, let's put on a sports bra, and leggings. I can do it, like just like this person can do it, I can do it too. So sometimes I try to like push myself, like, okay, you're gonna wear this, and you're gonna feel okay, and you're gonna, and you're not gonna wear the t-shirt, you're gonna wear this, and so I kind of try to make myself feel better, like, okay, you can do it, you can wear this, and then I do it, but
I feel like it's a lot harder for women, because guys are kind of like, whatever, like we throw some gel on our hair and brush our teeth and we're out the door. Like for women, it's
like,
a lot harder. I
possibly slept in this last night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even wash my jeans.
Yeah.
Like that's how easy it is for guys to navigate this world. So I can imagine for women, what advice would you give them, like for the haters, the people that are trolls? Like what would you say to them to help?
Oh, I've had a lot of that. I've had like,
How do you deal with
can't
that?
wear a sports bra, or like you put your shirt back on, or, I had a trainer that, I took off. I was like sweating in a Razorback t-shirt, and I had just taken off my shirt to wipe my sweat down. And he told me, he's like, you need to put your shirt back on. He's like, you look naked. And I was like, but I had a fully covered sports bra, and you could barely see any skin. But it made me feel like, okay, like why would you tell me that? Like why are you telling me that?
Right.
Like. Is it because I'm not fit? Is it because I don't look fit? Like I'm not a fitness model. I'm not fit.
Had the person been super fit, do you think he still would have complained?
I don't think he would have said that. So it was like, what? F you, man.
Yeah.
I can wear whatever I want. If I want to wear a freaking sports bra and leggings and I'm whatever size, I don't care. Like if I'm bigger or smaller, whatever, I can wear that size if I want to, if it makes me feel comfortable. It's making you feel uncomfortable. So it's like, I've had that before. So what I would tell like the haters is, keep doing what you want to do, being who you are, because at the end of the day, we need to be who we are. We can't keep listening to other people that tell us who we need to be and who we should be. You know what I'm saying? So
that's good advice.
Keep being who you want to be. It's like some of us are so afraid to be who we are and who we're meant to be. And it's like, no, man, like I want, this is me, like this is who I am, and I want to be who I am. So if you don't like it, if you feel uncomfortable with it, then go to the corner, man, because I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, that's a really hard mentality to get to. It's you have to train yourself to stay in that, because we are in an attention world. Like everything is about attention now. So the way you look is one thing, the way you portray yourself on social media is another thing. All these external things that you have to worry about on social media is being projected into the world, and it's being projected right back at you. I think it's one of the most interesting things is the economy, the attention economy that we live in now, where influencers are being viewed more than football games. Like that's the world we live in now, and words have very powerful meanings. Like we talk about all the time.
Years and years and years ago, I read a book that didn't stick to me as much as I wished it would have, and then about 8-9 months ago, I stumbled upon it and I reread it. It's The Four Agreements.
Oh yeah.
Have you read it?
Yes.
Okay, that fucking book is profound. Like the information in there, and it's Toltecan, I think, ideology.
Yeah, it's still Tekken.
It is simplicity in itself, and basically it talks about how we need to be immaculate with our words, and that basically these Toltecan people believed that, and I think it's in the book, and I'm going to plagiarize it and chop it up all at the same time, but at the very beginning they describe, or what I felt was the message was, a lot of people are going to be upset over this, but that the only real thing that you need to know about the Bible, the only thing that really matters, and I'm not a religious person, I'm not ordained, and I don't even go to church, but is that in the beginning, the earth was void, or the world was void, and then there was the Word, and the Word was God. And then God created the heavens and the earth and all this stuff. So before anything existed, there was just the Word. And the Toltecans kind of say that that's all you need to know about the Bible and about how much God loves you, because he gave us, and I'm not trying to go all preachy on it, but he gave us, we're the only species on the planet that is born with the urge to create a language, to communicate. Dogs and birds and horses, they can understand sentiment, and they vibe off of one another, but horses don't go up to other horses and say, man, today's alfalfa sucked, bro. I hated it. It was grainy. Like, they don't talk. They don't communicate. They understand each other. We communicate so much so that we, come to the agreement that if you draw this symbol, and let's all decide that we're going to call that symbol an A, and that A makes the A sound or whatever, and we create a language. This is because with our words, we can create the world we want to live in. So God gave us all the ability to create our own worlds, our own universes, by giving us the Word. So now we have the Word that created our world, and we know how to use it. And the Toltecans believe that if we use this power in a negative way to preach hate and gossip and lie, then our world would be plagued with those things. But if we use our words to create good things in the world, like praise and like, hey man, you look really good and you're doing amazing things, and I wish well for you. And if we use our magic, which is our words, in a positive way, that it will reflect positive things on us. And I believe that 100%. So the 4 agreements go into about being immaculate with your words, never assuming anything, never take anything personal, and always do your best.
Yes.
And if you do those 4 things in life, it will translate into a world that you want to be in. Mm-hmm. So when I hear people talking about their fitness journeys and their accomplishments and how other people have helped them get there, to me, that is very godly. That is very... We had a conversation the other day about how I believe that, and this again will probably piss a lot of people off, that we're all gods. He gave us all his ability to love, and if you think about what he's done, it's based off of love, and it's based off of creating good things. So he gave us the ability, or she gave us the ability, to use our words in a positive manner to generate a positive world for us. And the Toltecans believe this so much so that if you were a negative speaking person, they would prefer to ask you to leave their tribes and get out of here. If you're going to talk that kind of shit, there's no space for you. Our podcast has been an advocate for positivity, and we try to do that as much as we can. So we want to invite people like yourself who have taken their words and used them in a positive manner to create Miami Fitwear and to create, just dialogue that promotes positivity, healthy living and healthy environments. So when we saw you talking at the event over at Society 204, Josh and I were in agreement. We have to get you on. We have to bring you over here to talk, because we thought that was the vibe you were exuding. So the 4 agreements has dictated a lot when it comes to how we live our lives on a daily basis and who we want to bring to help spread the word. And the word might just be nice to each other. Wear your spandex when you want to and people tell you you're not supposed to, you know. My brother would say shit all the time. Hey man, spandex is a privilege, not a right. She shouldn't wear that. And he'd be talking about his ex-wife. And I'd be like, what are you talking about, bro? She bought it. It fits her. She likes the way she feels in it. Let her wear it. I think that more people need to think that way because we are a reflection of our insides. And if your insides feel like I can wear this and I don't give a shit, well, then you should wear that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you started and I'm glad you did all that stuff.
And that's how basically the company is. Like how if you go to our warehouse, everything is like everything has a story, and everything is a celebration of who you are, right? Mm-hmm. Like we have like Africa on the wall, we have Lady Gaga on the wall, we have Oprah and Kamala Harris and Ruth Gettysburg. Let's see who else.
Any men?
No men. We have Frida. We have China to Japan. We have Ganesha for Hinduism. We have Love Wins on the wall. We have God. We have the Virgin Mary. We just have like a lot of different things because it's a celebration of who we are as people. Because Miami Fitwear stands for not only being a size inclusive, like for sizing, but also for length, but also for like who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. Individualism. Hopefully I said that right. Individualism. Like who you are as an individual, because we all are loved. Like we all need to be celebrated for who we are and, you know, not dimmed, like not dimming our light, you know? So that's basically what the company is about.
We need to visit this warehouse.
Absolutely.
I'm so intrigued now.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about going back to the word and what you're talking about is that your words have more power than anything because they're coming out of your mouth and you're hearing them. So you're going to get an image of me, of who I am exactly from the words that are coming out of my mouth. That's why specifically for podcasts and for online content, it's very important for us from a business standpoint that you push yourself as this person that you want people to view. I don't think people get that. Like people don't use social media correctly. They're just posting whatever. Nobody cares about your Starbucks. That period. Nobody cares.
Only Starbucks cares.
But the thing is, how you
Starbucks.
Build a good audience is you bring them along for the journey. Like I don't think people understand that day one of when we started working out, I have it documented. I have every single calorie that I have consumed in my mouth is counted for the past 6 months. So like that journey is something that's special to me and I get to share it with the world because the hardest thing for people to do is to see something like, all right, that dude did it. Like, I don't see the process.
But how?
How do you? Now I'm documenting every single thing that I do.
You said a word very, very important. How? Okay. So this is important, and I was talking about this yesterday, is that all of us have a story, right? You have yours, I have mine. But what people really want to know is how you do it, how you did it. And I think that is something that when we go to these talks or when we're at a speaking event or whatever, is that, yes, we share our story, but we are educating the people on how we do these things and how they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that is very, very important.
It's very important. Yeah, it is because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. I got married when I was like 18. I've been with my wife since I was 14.
Oh
had
my
a kid, had our first son when I was 21. Like,
wow.
I still legit don't know what I'm doing. Dropped out when I was 14 so that I could spend more time with my girl. And she went to school in like Mercedes and I went to school in La Jolla. And so the how we get to where we're at is important.
Yeah.
And it's important that we share it because, again, people
it's documented.
Yeah, it's documented, you know, and you got to share those because there are people beginning their lives or in the shit right now and they need to know how people got out or how people got in and how. So, yeah, the how is very important. Thank you for pointing that out because we don't enough. We really don't. We tell our stories.
It's very hard to stumble upon the process and see it from the day one because people fall off. Like it's the hardest thing in the world. But I think staying consistent is the number one thing that anybody can do. And the diet is the only one that you can follow. Like do that one. Like that's the easiest way you can get through all these hurdles that you're going to go through.
Yeah, consistency. And a shout out to my buddy Joe Trejo from Best Medical Supply. He's one of the most humble and successful people I know. And years ago, when I kind of came under his wing and started learning from him, I asked him, I said, Joe, how did you attain such wealth, man? Like, how did you get to where you're at? And his answer was that consistency. He said, consistency through failure, consistency through success, consistency through trials and tribulations. He goes, you have to remain consistent, Robert, because until you do that and demonstrate that, people aren't going to rely on you. He goes, if they know that you're going to be in your office taking calls and making calls, whether you're losing money or making money or made a bad deal or on the brink of a multi-million-dollar deal, you have to remain consistent. And if you do that in anything, the results will compound. And he told me that. I still haven't applied it to anything. I'm not very consistent other than going to work out with you and doing our podcast and stuff. But I'm learning it, and I'm 43 years old now, so I'm hoping that if I get to be consistent and a lot of things by the time I'm 53, I should be okay.
You'll be good. You'll be good. Yeah, we're in a race against time because we're like, shit, well, I'm 40, so I got 10 more years. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we can do. I think it's one of the most interesting that working out has showed me. Like, if I can complete and get to my goal within that 1 year, it's 7 months. If I can get to that 1 year, you take all those principles that you learn and apply them to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So it's like from here, it just gets easier and easier and easier because you get to apply all those tools that you got. Before we finish off the podcast, kind of just talk about what's coming up next. What do you have in the pipeline?
Well, gosh, we have our loungewear coming soon. We have a hardcore workout line coming out soon, like cross waist with... it's for January. I'm also working on men's.
Nice. I would love to sport that stuff.
I'm working on a children's line.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff. Because everything has a calendar. So like my collections, like I have a fashion show on the 20th of this month. Then I have my other fall collection. Then I have my hardcore collection. It's going to be like hardcore workout collection, and then children's line and men's.
That's awesome.
So working on men's shorts, but
nice.
not spandex.
I have a suggestion for men's shorts.
What is it?
I'll give it to you after.
Okay.
I'll give it to you after because it's a little...
Racy?
It's a little racy. Yeah. Not racy, just it's food for thought.
All right, guys. Then we will see you on the next sesh. See y'all later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.